I'm often asked, hey, Frank, how important is it to have good graphics on your website? How important is it to have great graphics in your brand? It's a funny topic and it's very controversial. Some people say it doesn't matter. It's all about the services. Some people say it really matters, especially if you're starting off. Well, today I'm going to introduce you to a graphic artist who is an expert on the topic. So I want her to enlighten us. So without further ado, enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy. And welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Hump Day. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Today, as I said in the pre-intro, I have a guest for you. I have a special treat. A first-time guest, and we're going to be talking about graphic designs. As you know, graphic designs is a very, very important thing to consider when it comes to digital marketing. A lot of people forget about graphics. So I wanted to introduce you to someone who is a master at it. Her name is Patricia Creedon. Hello, Patricia, and welcome to the show.
Hi, Frank. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So I already talked a little bit about you during the pre-intro, but why don't, in your own words, why don't you tell who are you and what do you do?
Well, I'm a graphic designer and I have my own business out of New Canaan, Connecticut, and I've been working at it for about 11 years. And I love serving small businesses with all their graphic design needs, whether it's a logo design or book design or website or anything to do with their graphics for their marketing materials or social media even.
So you create social media graphics as well, like content for that?
Yes. Not the words, but the
Yeah. I mean, visual content. Yes. No, I got it. Yeah. There are different forms of content.
Yes.
There's visual content, there's video content, and of course, there's written content. But anyway, yeah. So you provide the visual content, graphics and stuff like that. I'm assuming you tie it to their logo?
Yes. I can design their logo or I can tie it to an existing logo so that it all has a consistency across the board.
Okay. So in today's world, Patricia, why don't you tell us what is the importance of having good graphics in today's digital world?
Well, a lot of the trust that you can build with people is built through a consistent brand. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, all the big companies have consistent brands. They have a logo, they have all the colors and fonts that you expect to see when you're walking through a store or when you're going online and looking for a particular brand. Mm-hmm. And it helps small businesses as well. I have a background helping the larger businesses because I was lucky enough to work at a graphic design agency for 21 years. And we had some major clients, and all of them were very, very focused on their brand consistency.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you mentioned brand. I'm glad you mentioned that because I have a question about that. I had a client of mine, and this was about, I want to say 8, maybe 9 years ago now, that they went through a rebrand. Obviously 8-9 years ago, I didn't know you, but they were going back and forth, and they worked with a brand specialist, someone like yourself, and they were going back and forth. And one of the arguments was, should they have a total rebrand or just a tweak of the rebrand. So what is your take on that from small businesses?
Well, I feel that tweaking a brand can sometimes be just enough. And you don't really want to rebrand completely differently from your old brand if you can help it, unless you've gone in a completely different direction. Because people need to see a little bit of your old brand so that they sense that you're the same company. And so I try to do that for my clients.
Okay, so you think tweaking is sufficient enough? Well, they went with a total rebrand, and it was very difficult to get the word out. And they did the lunch and all this. They're a fairly large company. I mean, I would say, well, it depends on what you call small company. Some people call small companies 25 million and down, and some people say 10 million and down. So whatever that is, but they were, in my opinion, they were fairly large because we're about 25, 26 million. And they just went with total rebrand, and it was a nightmare. But I just want to get your take on that. So tweaking, I'm a fan of tweaking myself. I went by a brand new brand about 6 years ago now. And it was a nightmare just switching over, but I had to do it because of political reasons. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So graphics. So out of curiosity, why graphics? Why is that such a passionate thing for you? Why are you so passionate about that?
Well, I was an artist from an early age, and I used to draw pictures, and I like doing that. But I really wasn't attracted to being a fine artist myself and thinking up what to do myself. I really was attracted to being given assignments and being able to work with visuals and type and put it together to communicate. I guess my passion would be to communicate, really, and to help small businesses to do that visually and to use my artistic talent that way.
Awesome. I recently was working with one of those, I don't know what you call them, but they're a product. They create branded material like hats and mouse pads, et cetera. And they had a statistic that I was unaware of, that they said that if you have a bag, let's say you have a not like a plastic bag, but any kind of like a bag that people could carry stuff on, whatever. Your brand can actually get hundreds of thousands of impressions, per hour, if you distribute enough of them, of course. So I was curious about that, because I also know that what ties to all of this is the colors that you pick, because I think colors supposedly have meanings behind it. So I would love for you to educate us on A, the impressions that you get when you have a branded, the right brand, if you will, and B, what do the colors mean on a logo?
Well, it can vary according to the business, and a business who wants to be taken seriously might want to be more in the blue realm. For some reason. I think blue gives you a feeling of calm and confidence. Those who are looking to brand around health and nutrition, maybe greens. Greens are good for that. I've found that if you are perhaps branding for a restaurant, you might want something that's associated with your building an appetite for something. For instance, reds and oranges, like you see on McDonald's or Burger King, and yellows. So it depends a lot on the brand and what their target audience is. And as for impressions, I think using promotional materials like tote bags and putting your branding on that is a great idea. I designed a car magnet for a professional organizer because he would be going from site to site, and that would be a great way for his name to get out there. And very simple, just a magnet sticks on the side of his car or van. And that works really well for him.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying the content that our guest is bringing you today. Incidentally, speaking of the guests, if you would like to be a guest on this show, if there's something that you would like to promote when it comes to digital marketing or anything within your business that you would like to promote, give us a call at 888-416-7752 or simply send us an email at info@lbmsllc.com. Someone from my office will then send you the podcast intake form and we will schedule you on the show. So if that's something you would like to do, go ahead and do that and I'll put you on the show. For now, enjoy the rest of the show. I'm curious if you have it, and if you don't know, that's fine. Let's say, what are the data say about? Let's say you see some brand on a bag, and then you see that same brand say on social media. You happen to be scrolling, and you see the same brand. I mean, do you have any numbers in terms of what conversions are when that occurs? Like how many times you see it versus not seeing it? I'm not sure if I'm articulating the question correctly, but I think you get the gist.
Well, I've heard different numbers. I think most recently it was like 18 to 20 impressions are needed for a person to really associate you with your brand and to feel like they can start to trust you as a company. And so the more that you can get your brand out there, the better, obviously.
Yeah. And then, of course, so let's get back into graphics because we're talking about graphics here. What, from a graphical standpoint, what importance does the layout of a website and the graphical layout of the great website, better said, what importance does that do in terms of user experience?
Well, I think there's a certain expectation when people go to websites, and you'll want to have the menu in a clear and easy to find place. And that often means across the top or down one side or the other. If you hide the menu, it will be difficult. And I've seen websites where you go there and they actually have like just 3 lines, which is fine when you're on a mobile phone. You know to click on that to know that's the menu. But if it's on a big desktop, it might confuse a person. And also a large visual that really says something about your company right away is a great way to have a homepage attract and convert, because it immediately tells people, oh, I'm in the right place.
Makes sense.
The right branding, the right visuals. This is what I expected here.
Makes sense. So a little bit more about you, if you don't mind. So who are your target audience? Like what are the projects that you really, really enjoy working with?
Well, to tell you the truth, I've been doing a lot of book design lately, and I really enjoy that. I just helped a CPA firm with a huge book, and that's not my forte, and I didn't find the book very enticing to read, but I enjoyed putting it together and making it visually enticing. I used a lot of the PowerPoint slides that he'd given me that he uses in his classes. He's a teacher as well. And it turned out really well. He's very happy with it. I've also done some graphics where I get to take a complicated topic and make it into, say, an infographic or a flyer that will explain it more visually to people so that they can understand it, and it can be useful to the company.
Like a trifold or something like that? Is that what you mean?
Yes, or a flyer. Yeah.
Okay. Now back to the book. Now, for the book, what did you do? You worked on his cover. You worked on the inside graphics of the pages, or what exactly did you do for that?
I designed the cover first, even though I hadn't read it yet. But they had an idea, the writer and the ghostwriter in the CPA. And it also had to tie in with a book that I designed for him previously, using the same kind of colors. So I did that first so that he could promote it. And then when I got the final manuscript, I designed the whole inside.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that must have been time-consuming project. It sounds very time-consuming. Okay, so what other clients do you like to work with? I mean, other than book stuff, is that your sweet spot, or is there any other clients that you like to get introductions to, like to work with, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, I like working with anyone in the financial industry. I also like working with professional organizers because they're so organized. I like working with artists, fine artists. I'm married to one, so I understand them. And
Awesome.
yeah, I've known a lot of artists throughout my life. And any small business coaching firm or marketing firm are ideal clients for me.
So do you, when you do the branding and, the color schemes and all that, and obviously you're going to do the trifold or the flyers. What other, do you help them with distribution of this, or is it basically here you go and, just get the cracking with, with getting the word out there? How does that work?
I can provide them with the printing service because I know a lot of good printers that I can send their work to.
Okay.
And I can provide them with suggestions on where to distribute it. For instance, I helped a senior move manager, which was somebody who was helping seniors move from their large homes to smaller homes. And so he wanted a trifold brochure, and I created one for him. And he placed it in homes for senior living or in offices of elder care attorneys, things like that. And those were, we brainstormed on where he could put it.
Oh, okay. So you do help outside of that. Well, this is awesome, Pat. Is there anything I did not ask you that you think will help the audience on getting to know a little bit more about you?
Well, when you find yourself looking for a graphic designer, I think it's important to interview them and make sure that they've been in business a while and that they're really dedicated to their art form and that they have some samples and case studies to show you. And then you'll know that it's a good investment.
Awesome. And what's the website?
PatCreedonDesign.com.
Awesome. I will place that in the show notes. Do you have any social media links as well to share, or is the website just okay?
I'm on LinkedIn mostly, and also Twitter and Facebook.
Twitter, really?
Yeah, I tweet.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't get a lot of tweeters on this show. Most people on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Those are the most popular ones. But first, Twitter. That's awesome. Is Twitter working? Is Twitter working for you? Do you get the word out about your services on that, or?
I like doing it. I just, I see articles and things, and I tweet about them so that people can link to them. And also, because it's a resource for me, I can go back and look through my tweets and find articles that I tweeted that I thought which were useful to me or clients.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Very, very few small business owners use that. A lot of politicians use it, obviously. A lot of people from news and media, they use it. But very small businesses. But I'm glad you do. Maybe one of these days you can give us a class. You can come back and give us a class on how to tweet. All right, Pat. This has been great. Thanks for coming on the show. I wish you nothing but the best. I think if anyone out there is looking for graphics, I've seen her work. I think you guys should reach out to Patricia like tomorrow and start asking her about your next graphic project, or if you know of anyone that needs some graphics on their website because they look like 1985, Patricia is the person that is going to help them out. So with that, I am going to bid farewell to this episode. This has been Frank Deming, the local business guy, and you've just been blessed by the great Patricia Creedon. Take care, folks, until next week. Bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.